So, welcome everybody back to Veil of Sound. Next Friday, we'll see the publication of a very, very popular band, I would say. It's October 28th when the new Dead Cross album will be released onto this world. And I am very happy to have one of them here, Michael Crain. Michael, thanks for being on the show.
Absolutely.
So, Michael, where are we catching you right now?
I actually woke up about an hour ago and I'm having breakfast and coffee. I would have been up already, but I played a show last night, so I didn't get home till late.
Yeah, which is fine. So, Michael, one thing that interests me, how many miles do you make a year on the Pacific Highway? Because you have bands in San Diego and in Los Angeles.
Well, I don't have any bands in San Diego at the moment. Justin is in San Diego.
Yeah.
But I drive on the Pacific Coast Highway at least once a week, taking my dogs to Malibu to take them on a hike.
So then, if you are in a car so often, would you agree that every record in some way has to pass the car test, so to speak, in order to see if it's really holding up?
100%. Literally every record I've ever written, recorded, or played on, produced, when it's in the mixing phase, it always has to pass the car test.
Of course. So the new record that is coming out in 5 days, how happy and content are you personally with it?
Wait, it comes out in 5 days?
Yeah, because today when we publish this, it will be October 23rd.
Wait, isn't it September?
Oh, yeah, it is September,
I get it.
But this,
oh my God,
and we will
funny.
not cut this out. This will stay in. So today, when we are recording, it is September. When you are listening to this, folks, it's already October, and the record will be out in 5 days. So, Michael,
that's hilarious.
Yeah, how happy are you with 2?
It turned out better than I thought it was going to.
Mm-hmm. And
I'm very pleased.
And how much of a personal record is it for you yourself?
You know, it turned out to be more personal than I thought it was going to also. In hindsight, it makes perfect sense. I had just beat cancer and I was still sick. So I would say literally that record was recorded with blood, sweat, and tears.
Mm-hmm. So how must we imagine the process? Had you been writing during chemotherapy, or did all of the writing and recording happen afterwards?
A lot of the writing had already started before.
Mm-hmm.
Then I've always had riffs and parts and some loosely assembled songs stored on my phone.
Mm-hmm.
So I had some material, and Dave and Justin and I had kind of arranged some material as well. But when I was sick, there was, like, going through chemo, there was no way I could write or play guitar. Mm-hmm. I was just basically at death's door. But Ross was also incredibly involved in the arrangements and such.
And
yeah.
When looking back at that time, which happened after your successful battle with cancer, did that also In which way did that influence the record and the writing and the songs themselves?
Well, on my end, I had nothing to do with the song titles or the lyrics, except for Christian Missile Crisis, which was a name I thought of in the 90s to name a band for Justin and I.
Ah.
That never came to fruition. But what was the question again? I'm sorry. I veered.
How did your own fight with cancer, how did that influence the songs and what they then became? No, sorry. How did your personal fight with cancer influence the songs?
I think it's definitely in my playing. It influenced my playing, completely. I didn's notice it, but the other guys noticed it when especially because after a record's done and you agree on the mixes, like I don't listen to it honestly ever. I've never rarely have I sat and listened to something I've done after the fact. You just move on
after it's done, right?
Yeah, that's it. But with this one, when we did the photo shoot a few months ago, we met at my studio. Hey, stop it! It was one of my dogs. Don't. Ah, champ.
So you met at your studio.
We met at my studio for the photo shoot, and we listened to it. Like, let's put it on. We haven't listened to it together, and I hadn't listened to it like that, and I was like, holy shit, this sounds fucking good. And the guys were like, dude, Crain, they call me Crain. Crain, your guitar playing, like, dude, you can hear it. And I was like, wow. That's the first time I noticed anything like that. That you could maybe pick up in my playing how sick I was and how what I was going through, because it came out in my playing. So did that answer the question? I'm sorry.
Yeah, it does. So when I listen to it, I feel as if there is an extra level of pissed offness, I would say. It's like sometimes it sounds to me as if this is like your "fuck you cancer" record. I don't know if that's any way of correctly saying.
No. That's a perfect way to describe it. That's exactly what it was.
So your bandmates, of course, they knew about your physical problems and they knew about everything, because I know that, for example, you and Justin go way back. Would you say that this record has brought the four of you even closer together?
It definitely did in the studio, and while we were making it, 100%. And Ross is also very personable, and he has a very unique style of getting performances out of people and bringing people closer. So yeah, and it's hard because everyone, life is busy.
Yeah.
Everyone, and for guys like us, we play in so many projects and do so many things. You lose touch with people. Even if you live in the same city, even if you live in the same city, life, the world keeps spinning, but it absolutely brought us closer together. And so to answer your question, yes, it did, and it definitely is the fuck you, quote unquote, fuck you cancer record.
So
perfect.
Which is very interesting because, as you have already said, you knew Justin like basically 30 years ago. Many people will probably not even know that you were friends before you got together in Retox. But can you describe it a little bit? How long or how far back does your friendship go?
We met in 1990, I think 6 or 7.
Hmm?
My band, the Festival of Dead Deer, and his band, the Crimson Curse.
You did a split, right?
I just remember like, oh man, we got to go play in store. We're not even going to get fucking paid for this. You know, like we need to be able to get back home to downtown LA to get drugs before they stop selling for the night. Like that was literally and there is a video of that show. There's a video of it, and it's not bad. It's really not bad. And you can see it. You can see it in us that we're just like, the band is by all accounts, that band was pretty good. I really liked that band.
You mean Crimson Curse or Festival of Dead?
Oh yeah, they're both. Great fucking, but yeah, but by all accounts, yeah, you get it's a really funny video to watch, just because you can tell, like, oh my god, these guys aren't going to last long. But so yeah, that was in 1997. That was one band. Chris Tathwell went on to do Moving Units. Mm-hmm. So he had some success as well. He's an incredible drummer. And Dylan went on to do other things. But yeah, so that was that story. And since then, so since that time, I had communication. Justin got us on, another good show in San Diego, and we started cultivating a friendship that way. But again, I was so messed up on drugs. Like I was in and out, I'd researched after that band broke up. He did put out that split, and then I resurfaced after, getting clean and coming around again. He's like, I want to put out a full length of that band.
Didn't he do a compilation of all the stuff that you did?
Exactly. Because we were too fucked up to get in the studio and record a full record. So there was a compilation of our work. And he put that out. And then while that was getting put out, I spiraled and burned out again on drugs. And you know what I mean? So there was always a lot of off and on. And then I didn't see him for years. I was just out there, not doing well. And then when we finally reconnected, would have been not long before we started Retox. So 2000,
sometime around 2010, right?
Yeah, 9 or 10, somewhere in there. Sounds about right.
And then that moment when you got back into being a, let's say, full-time musician or somebody whose main interest is in music, how was it to step on stage with Retox for you personally?
Oh, I loved it. It was so much fun. Yeah, I was so into it.
Did you then appreciate it? Did you then appreciate being a musician more than before?
Yeah. I don't know. It was about the same. I missed it so much.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Now, when we talk about That Cross again and the new record, which is interestingly sometimes in 1 second, it's like the most aggressive thing that Cross has ever put out. And then the next moment, it sounds like straight out of Motown with a lot of soul in it. And that also is very interesting to me. And then my question must be like, how democratic is a band like That Cross with 4 so amazing musicians? How does that work?
I mean, a lot of any guitar driven music, I think it starts with the riffs.
Yeah.
The guitar riffs. I think that's just pretty common. So a lot of my riffs will steer the ship, or a lot of my riffs with the drums, like the driving, whatever's driving the song. But then, Justin's also had some he has such a unique sound, you know. I love Justin's um, tonality and his style. He's got a great style. He's just so incredibly talented. But there's been parts, you know, times when he's played just this really weird dark bass, even like just a note, and we're like, oh wait, or I'll usually me, I'm like, dude, do that again, and then Dave and I will just jump right on it.
But the way that you talk about it, it sounds very often as if it's, first of all, when it's about the music, not about the lyrics and melodies, but the music, it's Justin, Dave, and you. And then Patton joins sometime later.
Yes, that's correct. But, you know, and Patton likes it that way. He's like, no, I want to do it this way. You guys do the record. You guys do the songs and then send them to me.
Okay.
He's only had minor input, you know, like he's told me, you know, hey, Mike, give me a key change in that song. You know, I love that shit. But usually, because he's so used to steering the ship, you know, Mike Patton is like, he's a fucking one-man band if he wants to be, you know. Yeah. He can do it with his voice. That guy is insane.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's for this band, this process really seems to work.
So then the way you describe it, it sounds as if he also enjoys taking a step back and first of all, let you free do your thing. And then he joins in at some point.
Yeah. Yeah, basically.
Which is very unlike the image that people have of him, isn't it?
It is. Well, I feel like people don't really know Mike Patton. Like that guy.
Definitely.
That guy is a mystery, man. He is. There's a lot of levels to that dude. His musicality is fucking insane. I don't use this term lightly, but musically, he's a genius. I definitely put him in that category, and I'm sure a lot of other people would too.
But then again, correct me if I'm wrong, but then again, Justin and you also do vocal duties on the record, don't you?
No, I don't. I do. Mm-hmm. But on the first record, it was all Mike. Mm-hmm. And I think, I could be wrong, maybe Justin had a few on there too. But on this record, on 2, it's definitely Justin's very involved in the vocals on this one.
Which is very
on the recordings. Yeah. Well, Justin's got a great scream.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like he's got one of the best screams I've ever heard. It's so good.
And it's also very noticeably Justin, I think, right? You have said that you don't have to do a lot of stuff with like titles and lyrics and such, but you came up with the idea to Christian Missile Crisis. And of course, I have to ask this because, of course, in some ways for the band, not only the music is important, but also those, I would say, those little puns, you know, those little ambiguous song titles like Reign of Error or like Christian Missile Crisis. Does Patton come up with it, or do you as a band say like, okay, maybe the song could use this topic or that topic?
No, I think it's whatever Patton wants to write about. But yeah, he came up with, I'm almost positive, Reign of Error. I think, I could be wrong, but he's a wordsmith. Justin is too, you know. I mean, we're all like, in my opinion, you don't get into art this heavily, any kind of art, unless you got a few screws loose, you know, which typically means that you're a really creative person. So for any one of us could, you know, are capable of coming up with something that clever, I guess is the way to put. Is that the right way to put it?
Yeah, I think.
But obviously, Patton's been writing lyrics for a lot longer than I have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Looking at it, would you say that, I mean, like we all know that Dead Cross has some kind of agenda in commentating on what is going on in the world. Would you say that this again is like one of those examples of a band having fun, but at the same time also like putting the finger on the wound and saying like, look at it, folks, as much fun as we're having, but those are things that are wrong.
Well, for me, no.
Mm-hmm.
For me, I don't use music typically to talk about political or anything. Music is my escape.
Mm-hmm.
Music is for me. Music is to keep me from killing myself.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I started playing music. I needed to escape. It's personal. It's art.
Mm-hmm.
I know Justin is very politically minded, and he really likes to commentate on current events and everything. He's really good at it. And I think for Patton, it's probably a mixture of both. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because you have
So
tracks
there
like
are
Reign of Terror
elements.
Yeah, a lot of
Yeah.
levels again, right?
Yeah, exactly. So I think it's pretty easy for those guys like those two to derive poetry out of current events.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
No. Yeah. It's like poetry commenting on what is going on.
Exactly. For me, however, like I said, it's like, no, this is a personal journey. Yeah, the world is fucking fucked up, obviously, but you got plenty of people to already tell you that. You got all the news outlets and newspapers and this and that and the other. I don't give a fuck about that. I don't want to talk about that. You got plenty of people talking to you about that. Mm-hmm. For me, it's personal.
Then let's talk about the music, because what struck me is that many of the songs are driven in a way. They sound as if there is like a real drive to it, as if fighting demons, whatever, in your case, fighting to get over that hump of recovering from cancer. But the songs often, very often, they seem as if they're just about to jump off a cliff. They're so nervous at sometimes. But then again, they get that little pushback and don't make that little jump, that deadly jump over the cliff. Is that something that interests you? Like, how far can I take it? How many notches can I take it?
Wow, yeah, I never thought about that, but hell yeah, because that's how I live life.
To the fullest.
That's, yeah, unfortunately. It caught up with me. All the way to the edge. I love that shit. I love living life like that. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, like I would put on like Slayer's South of Heaven or Bauhaus in the Flat Field or Butthole Surfers, you know, all the way to 11 to where it was, you know, making my fucking ears bleed, and just drink a bottle of whiskey so fast while chain smoking and then driving drunk to go score heroin. And then, you know what I mean? You know where this is going.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
And drive so fast and just scream to the music. That has been my journey. So it makes perfect sense.
It makes perfect sense. You have been talking about Bauhaus, and you also mentioned Slayer. Interesting examples. But Dead Cross somehow brings back the old school hardcore sound that many people have totally forgotten about, I would say. So can you give us your favorite hardcore or hardcore punk band?
Oh, I was really besides the obvious ones, besides the metal, like I just mentioned, Slayer and all the first four Metallica records. I really love DRI. I really love Flipper. The Screamers. I love. Give me a sec. I just had another one. Oh, Wipers.
Yeah.
Greg Sage's guitar playing is, man, that guy. Fuck. Like, people need to fucking recognize that dude and that guy's songcraft. I know Kurt Cobain did, and Mark Lanigan. Like, a lot of people recognize that guy's genius and stole from him. So did I. God, who else? If we say hardcore,
I always figured you to be like a Million Dead Cops guy.
Not so much. Justin and Patton are they're really into. They know way more about MDC than me. I mean, I'd listen to them, but it wasn't like that wasn't my thing. I was way more into like the Butthole Surfers and a lot of the Amphetamine Reptile Records stuff that came out in the 90s and late 80s. Oh, Die Kreuzen.
Yeah.
Oh, man, they're fucking killer. I love that stuff. Of course, the Dead Kennedys. You can hear that in my playing.
Some East Bay.
The Cure. Yep, I love The Cure. Robert Smith is one of my favorite artists ever.
But interestingly, if I looked it up correctly in your discography, you ever only recorded one cover of another band. With Retox, you covered Garbage Man by the Cramps.
Oh no, we also recorded Fascination Street by The Cure.
Oh, good choice.
Wait,
I have to look that up.
Did we record that? Maybe we didn't record that and only played it live. Shit. No, I thought we recorded it. Yeah.
But the question where I'm heading is, if you could choose one artist to cover any song that you've been involved with, which artist or band should cover which song?
If I could only cover, oh man, that's tough. You got me on that one. Let me think about that. That changes daily.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Of course.
But man, that's tough. Who is it? Let me hold on a sec. Hold on. I can tell you kind of. Let me look. Who was I listening to? God, that's so tough. I don't know.
So let's say Michael Smith from The Cure could cover one of your tracks. Which one would you say would be interesting to hear him interpret?
Oh, Robert Smith? One of my
Robert
tracks?
Smith. Sorry, not Michael Smith. Robert Smith, of course. Sorry.
No problem. Like a Dead Cross song?
Any of your bands?
Oh, I would have him cover one of my solo songs for sure. Because my solo shit sounds like I'm inspired by The Cure and stuff like that. I have a song called, oh my God, what's it called? I am so bad with my own music. I'm the worst with my own music. Like, I have to ask people, did what band did I record that? That's me? It's so embarrassing.
Oh, that shit's good. Who is that? That's your band.
Yeah, Me Not Him. I have a song. I think it's on Spotify. Like, I didn't really promote it. Nobody knows about it. It's just stuff I like to record and put out there. But it's a song called Me Not Him.
Okay.
And I know he could probably sing and play it 10,000 times better than me. He would make it sound way better than me. But
So-
Robert Smith, any old Cure stuff, I would fuck it. Old Bauhaus, Cure, David Bowie.
The classics, so to speak.
Yeah, man, that stuff really hits home for me.
So, first of all, thanks for all these answers. And of course, here at Veil of Sound, we always love to end our interviews with our infamous quickfire round. I will give you two alternatives, and you
Okay.
have to choose one of them and give, if you want to give a short explanation. So let's start off with 3 questions related to Dead Cross. You have to choose between Testament and Slayer.
Okay. Between Testament and Slayer.
Yeah.
Did I answer that one? Is that how this works?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, that's how it works. So you say Slayer?
Yep.
Okay. Swing Kids versus the Locust.
Probably the Locust.
Mr. Bungo or Phantomas?
Phantomos.
Mm-hmm. As You Are a Car Guy. Cadillac or Lincoln?
Lincoln.
Mm-hmm. Minor Threat or State of Alert?
Minor Threat. I don't know who State of Alert is. I'm gonna out myself on that one.
Roland's first band. Dead Kennedys.
Oh.
Dead Kennedys versus the Circle Jerks.
Dead Kennedys.
And now, as you are from California, and I know you don't want to talk about politics, but I think you'll like this one. Reagan versus Schwarzenegger.
Oh my God, Reagan, because that's when all the good music came out.
Ooh, interesting explanation. For your next movie night, Cronenberg or Lynch?
Which ones did Cronenberg do?
The Fly, Mulholland Drive.
Oh wait, no, David Lynch did Mulholland Drive, right? I like David Lynch.
Wait, which one?
Yeah.
But so, Cronenberg or Lynch? The Fly or Mulholland Drive?
Mulholland Drive.
Mm-hmm. And for your next vacation, Vegas or New York City?
New York City, but times 1,000.
And last one, what do you enjoy more, touring or writing and recording?
That's tough. Oh my God. You got me on that one, dude.
Yeah.
They are so different and both so necessary. I don't know. You stumped me because they're both so important for different, they fulfill different voids. They fulfill different loves and passions.
So if you have to choose at this very moment for today, what would you prefer, going on stage or write new stuff?
Going on stage, which I'm about to do anyways tonight again.
Cool. That is always good. So, Michael, thanks for the interview. Thanks for making this happen. In 5 days, people, as we now know, 5 days from today, you can listen to the new Dead Cross album. My personal opinion is I like it even more than the first one, which means a lot. And so everybody listen to that one. Michael, thanks for joining the show.
Thank you so much, brother. I appreciate you.
Take care.